Okay, okay. We got a lot to get through today. I'm ready today, actually. I'm ready today, actually. Alright, let's see. Yesterday the screen fucked up in a way that I've never seen before, and that actually really pissed me off really badly. Alright, let's see. Yesterday the screen fucked up in a way that I've never seen before, and that actually really pissed me off really badly. Oh, oh, okay. Good thing I checked that. Oh, oh, okay. Alright, let's try this again. Let's try this again. I'm sorry, what? Alright, how about this instead? I'm sorry, what? Alright, how about this instead? Oh my god. I'm looking like a fool. To my one chatter. God damn. Alright. Oh my god. I'm looking like a fool. To my one chatter. God damn. Alright, I'm pretty sure this will work. Alright, I'm pretty sure this will work. Oh yeah. Now can we just get a sound test? Can we just get a sound test? Can we just get a sound test?
The biggest night in the British movie business, broadcast on the BBC with a 2-hour delay. Time enough in theory for the
Can we just get a sound test? Can we just get a sound test? Can we just get a sound test?
The biggest night in the British movie business.
Hell yeah.
Broadcast on the BBC with a 2-hour delay. Time enough in theory for the
Alright. All I gotta do is just post on Instagram that I'm streaming, and then we can get started, boys. I didn't even have to break my focus, friend. Okay. Yo, shout out Chris Patrick. He's a really good rapper. Yo, another unfollow? Jesus. No, bro. Not a video. Why are you making a video? Yeah, they keep changing these fucking apps, man, and I'm not here for it, like, at all, bro. Alright. Welcome to the life, bro. Welcome to the life. I'm a professional streamer, believe it or not. Really, I'm a TikToker, but I'm branching out. Streaming right now on YouTube, fool. And then we'll add a sticker. And it'll say State of the Union. Oh. Post that on my story. Alright. Let's get started. For real this time. Yo, shout out Philly D. I probably wouldn't even be a content creator if it wasn't for him. Seriously.
DOJ is hiding Epstein documents that contain assault allegations against the president, right? And that's according to an NPR investigation that tracked down over 50 missing pages from the Epstein files. One allegation describes a 1983 incident where a 13-year-old girl was allegedly assaulted by Trump.
Boom. Boom. Assaulted by Trump. Boom. Okay? Like, I mean, with these Epstein files, like, we've all just been waiting for, like, a direct allegation. Like, Donald Trump diddled me when I was a little kid. And, like, despite the fact that they released a bunch of files, like, we really didn't have that smoking gun. But we also knew that they were redacting a bunch of stuff that they weren't supposed to. And, like, now we just have, through NPR, they're crack journalists, they're Nancy Drew investigators, I guess. They're saying, okay, well, we have the allegation, 1983, Donald Trump diddled little girl. I believe it. All right, let's see about it though.
Appearing twice in the release files, once in a PowerPoint and once in a list, and it was flagged as serious enough to be sent to the FBI's Washington office for an interview.
The FBI interviewed her, right? Like, this ain't your local policeman, all right? Like, this is like the FBI. The FBI thinks that it's a federal crime, right? That there's international interest, right? You know, and they interviewed her multiple times, by the way. You know, it's less likely that it was just some BS. Like, there had to be some kind of evidence that was at least questionable.
Took it seriously. Discovery documents from the Ghislaine Maxwell case reveal that they interviewed the alleged victim 4 times, but only the
4 times. 4 times for a sexual assault allegation. Like, number one, like, that means that they have, like, something bad, right? Or whatever's being accused of has like some serious evidence behind it, right? You know, and again, it's the FBI. It's not even just like the local police.
This interview, which doesn't mention Trump, made it into the official database. In 7 of the 15 documents surrounding this accuser, they're missing. And in total, at least 53 pages of interview notes, they're gone from the files. Now, you still have Trump spokespeople saying that he's been
just the fact that they're redacting anything at all is like smoking gun proof that he definitely did something that they're hiding. Because, like, why else would they do that? It's illegal, right? And then Trump could so easily slam dunk. Like, if he wasn't in the files at all, like, he would never shut up about it. It's like, and as you know, I wasn't even in the files. I mean, he is kind of still saying that, but, like, you can tell that he doesn't really believe it. Like, he knows he's in these files a bunch. That's why he's trying to say, whatever's in the files isn't really that important. You know what I mean? Because, like, of course he's in there. And, like, the stuff that they're hiding, they've probably destroyed a lot, too, already. Like, the really bad stuff that was the most obvious, like, any video of Trump is for sure destroyed. Gone forever. You know? I just wonder who did it. And I wonder who knows about it. Right? But there's probably so much material that they can't even remember it all. You know? Like, it's going to be interesting when whoever inevitably writes their little tell-all book, because they're up to some really intense crime right now. Seriously. All right.
There is explosive, brand new reporting, new today, on missing Epstein files and shocking testimony from a witness that has made an accusation against.
Look, nothing against this lady, but like, how can people talk about like a pedophilic cabal of billionaires that have infiltrated the White House and like have such a flat affect? Like, damn, like this doesn't piss you off? What the fuck? I mean, I get it, like she's probably like, yo, it's 4 o'clock, like my shift's about to be over, like I'm ready to go home, like more Trump bullshit. But it's like, damn, like where's the urgency in the mainstream media? Like, what the fuck? Like,
None other than Donald Trump himself. It is reporting that suggests a cover-up inside the Trump Justice Department and
suggests a cover up. Like the cover up's proven. Yeah, this is, man. Like I wonder how this is gonna be in like the textbooks. Like whenever my kids go to school, because it's like we knew, we know, like we know, we knew, we've always known. Like it's like idiocracy, bro. Like we've known that the president's a pedophile for a long time, and it's like really we're just splitting hairs. Like really we're just splitting hairs here. Like we knew he was censoring stuff. Now we just know what was in the thing that he censored, which hook, line, and sinker was about him raping a little girl. The end. like they should be reporting of like the Epstein file says that Trump molested a little girl. Like straight up. Like the FBI was in on it. Like they knew. You know? I wonder why they didn't follow through. Like why was it not followed? Like why did nothing happen? What happened to this accuser? Shit, like I don't know. And I do agree with like protecting the victims, but damn, it would be really helpful to know who that person is right about now.
could be a possible explanation to a question that has dogged Donald Trump throughout the entirety of his second term as president, the entirety really of the Epstein scandal. In the face of
It was also dogging him like his first presidency because that's when Jeffrey Epstein died, right? You know, I'll leave it at that.
major public backlash, including from deep inside his own political coalition. Why is Donald Trump working so hard to block the release of the Epstein files? Our colleagues Lisa Rubin and Michael Schnell confirm news first reported by independent journalists Roger Sollenberger and NPR that the Justice Department has withheld files that contain allegations that Donald Trump sexually abused a person who was a minor at the time. That is despite the fact that the Justice Department...
I mean, and here's the thing. It's like the Venezuela thing. It's like we knew it was coming. We knew that's where it was heading. Even though he's saying the exact opposite, we know that's probably not true. And now here we are. Here we are. Today's the day. What is it? February 24th. All right. February 24th is the day that we know for a fact the Epstein files accuse him of being a diddler. The end. The end. It's historical as fuck. Thanks for sharing the moment with me.
Now legally mandated to publicly release all of the Epstein files.
NPR
reports that more than 50 pages of notes and memos about the FBI's interviews with this accuser are missing. A source who has viewed the documents tells us this, quote, a woman interviewed by the FBI in July 2019 about her Epstein allegations is the same woman who alleged that Trump forced her to perform oral sex on him 35 years ago when she was 13 or 14.
All right, so I'm guessing that they were just doing two-mans with little girls on a private island in the Caribbean. What the fuck? What the hell? How are people not outraged, bro? I guess they are. I mean, but how are people not like rioting in the streets and shit? It's like, why is nothing happening? Like, I feel crazy. It's making me lose faith, you know, in America. Because it's like, damn, even in England, they're getting shit done. I mean, they might not even have a king and queen anymore over this shit. But, like, here, the president's about to just give a speech saying, yeah, all that shit's bullshit, whatever. Insane.
Years old, and he subsequently hit her. That allegation appears in a 2025 PowerPoint presentation detailing each of the FBI's Epstein-related investigations and a spreadsheet of unconfirmed tips that were called into the Bureau's National Threat Operations Center. MS Now can report that the FBI interviewed her 4 times.
4 times, you know, and look, here's the thing, innocent until proven guilty. I do truly believe that. Allegations are allegations. Just because someone investigated you doesn't mean you necessarily did anything, but The fact that he's hiding them and not explaining, or just not even releasing the evidence of like what absolved him, right? Like that is the nail in the coffin, right? Because if this were you, and here's the thing, it's like I don't even know if I can even like put myself in the mindset, right? Because like I don't know what it's like to be a billionaire with infinite resources, right? But like if an allegation was brought against me, I would use everything in my power to release evidence to prove that I didn't do it, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's like these are some pretty hefty allegations. Like these are like conspiratorial, international, eyes wide shut shit, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, and he's just acting very guilty. Like, you know, like I'm really trying to like benefit of the doubt. Like, and I was really an Epstein like skeptic. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of embarrassing. I was like, yeah, Epstein probably killed himself, like whatever, just because nothing ever happens. Like, you know, that's just too fantastical for me to believe. But it's like every turn I've just been proven wrong. It's like all this shit is just as bad as all the craziest conspiracy theorists have been saying and shit. Like, I don't know.
From only one of those 4 times, one of those 4 interviews is publicly available. In a tweet, the Justice Department denies that anything has been deleted, adding this explanation, quote, all responsive documents have been produced unless a document falls within one of the following categories: duplicates, privileged, or part of an ongoing federal investigation, end quote. We have also reached out to the White House for comment and have yet to hear back. In a statement for MP.
I mean, they're literally getting ready for like the State of a Union address. Like, I mean, technically he could address it there. I don't know if America's ready to see that though. Do people even like, I don't know, like if you're watching the stream right now, that means like you're super tapped into like the authoritarian takeover America, so like you're hyper online. I don't think the normies really understand like how deeply in the shit we are, right? Like and there's been other moments like that in American history, like during like Iraq and Afghanistan. It's like, you know, like weed smoking college kids were like, yeah, this is fucked up, like America screwed up for this, and they were right? But like this is like threatening the future of America. Like it's unlikely that we'll even be able to continue if like this MAGA white supremacist project continues, and it's like so deep and involves so many powerful people and shit, like, and it's so morally depraved.
However, the White House claimed that Trump has been, quote, totally exonerated on anything related to Epstein. Now, we do not know if this allegation made against Donald Trump about a 13 or 14-year-old victim is true. But
yeah,
we do know what the FBI thought. We know what they did, at least. We know they took it seriously enough to interview this person several times, and that the accusation came up again in 2025 while Donald Trump was president again and facing massive pressure to release the files.
I mean, also, it's just like the fact that it was in the past and then it got brought up again is just like, look, like someone should look into that. Like like that should be public knowledge. Like what are the details of this case? Because again, it's like a sexual assault allegation against a child. Like it's a very hyper crime. You know what I mean? Like this is kind of relevant, like to who runs the country.
Which of course leads us really to have more questions. As NPR reports, the accuser's name was being circulated by the FBI in late July and early August with the purpose of setting up an interview. That would be weeks after the release of the memo that kicked up the public firestorm around the case. That memo said, quote, we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties, end quote. 2 months later, Kash Patel said this under oath.
Absolutely perfection.
Beautiful.
Shockingly
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he...
This is like of all the lies in this whole Epstein saga, this is 100% the most egregious, because it's like, it's such a claim. Like Jeffrey Epstein, the international child trafficker with networks all around the world and blackmail on everyone, didn't traffic to anyone besides himself? And you know that for a fact? To the point where you wish that was the case so you could have done it yesterday? That's cap. That's fucking cap. That's cap. That wasn't true. Like, that's so provably untrue. And that's spoken like someone who truly believed that the Epstein files would never get released. They really thought they could kind of like bureaucratically like hold it up, but say what you want about MAGA, like they really wanted that shit to be released, and there's just kind of no way to explain why you're not releasing it unless you yourself are in on it, right? Like all the conspiracies were true, you know? I don't know.
To other individuals, and the information we have again is limited.
So the answer is no one
For the information that we have
in the file.
For the information that we have, right? He thought that like, that qualifying statement might help him, but it's like, okay, here's the Epstein files. You had this, right? Like, of course you did. Of course you did. Did you just not look? Like, that's probably the only defense he could really put up there. I just didn't look, or I couldn't find it. There were a lot of files. That's the only thing I can think of. Let me not give bad people good ideas, but just admit that you're incompetent. I mean, maybe that's a way out for you. Like when the Nuremberg trials inevitably happen, you know?
in the case file.
No one? The files were withheld. Why did the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, tell Congress in a letter 10 days ago that, quote, no records were withheld or redacted on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity, including to any government official, public figure, or foreign dignitary. We're also learning about these missing files on the same day of Donald Trump's State of the Union address. A half a dozen Democrats will bring survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse to Congress to watch that speech. Missing files from the criminal.
I predict that he's gonna like insult them to their faces, like "fuck you, victims." Like, I bet you that's what happens. Like, it hasn't happened yet, right? But I bet you that's what happens.
Cases into deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein related to Donald Trump himself is where we start today with some of our favorite reporters and friends. Former Assistant Special Agent in charge of the FBI, National Security Intelligence Analyst Michael Feinberg is here, plus former top official at the Justice Department, legal analyst Andrew White.
All right. That's enough for the Epstein files. Segment number 1 is done. No thanks. It's genuinely ridiculous that they can't find this lady's mom, like, so seriously, right? Because our phone tracks us every single day. It knows what you think, like, you know, it knows what time you take a shit, right? But it can't find someone taken in the dead of night in a suburban neighborhood, even if their relative is a millionaire with direct contacts with the president. You know, personally, I really blame the FBI's incompetence, right? Like, law enforcement has always been incompetent, but now that they have like such incompetent leadership from the top down, it's like when these big crime events happen, America just gets embarrassed because like we can't figure it out. Like, I don't know if this stuff happens in China. I don't know. I feel like G would have found these people.
We are offering a family reward of up to $1 million.
Family reward of $1 million. Word on the street, Savannah Guthrie's worth 40 mil. 1M. Give me my mom back.
Guthrie is offering $1 million reward for the return of her mom, dead or alive.
Dead or alive? Dang, son. If my mom wasn't alive, I don't know if I'm dropping no M. Like, my mom wants to be cremated too. Like, so, yeah, screw that. Like, I'm not paying for a corpse. Get out of here. You know, this is also so embarrassing on like a national stage level. Like, this is a case where like fame would actually be very aggravating and scary to have, especially since Savannah Guthrie's fame probably made her mom a target realistically. Whew, man, it's really been troubling to like see how this has unfolded for this family.
Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. Somebody knows.
You heard that. So if anybody here is watching that knows something, man, if I knew anything, I would totally turn it in. You know, now that $1 million is on the line, the only way I wouldn't turn it in is if I knew the people and I was afraid for my family's safety. But, you know, for $1 million, like, you know, get a security system. Man.
We are begging you to please come forward now.
For the first time, the Today Show co-host acknowledged that 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie may not have survived the brutal kidnapping.
She may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves.
I mean, this is just a morbid calculation because this 84-year-old woman was on multiple medications that she needed to survive, right? She had a pacemaker, she had an artificial heart, right? Even in this family photo, like she has like a bandage, right? Probably from some kind of injection. So yeah, like she's pretty much on life support already, on like mobile life support. So her being kidnapped is like the worst thing that could happen to her. Explain to me how he's evil. Trump? He's a pedophile. That's why he's evil. Okay. Continuing.
Dancing in heaven, we are blowing on the embers of hope.
Savannah fought back tears as she described the excruciating pain her family is enduring.
Every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony, worrying.
Better care that doesn't break the bank. With a quality eye exam and 2 pairs of glasses at one great price. An eye exam.
Ay, caramba.
About her and fearing for her and aching for her. And most of all, just missing her. Just missing her.
Just moments ago, Savannah posted a new statement on social media.
NBC broke into programming to broadcast the entire plea, more than 4 minutes long.
Bro, this is like some Dark Knight shit. like literally, like she has to like post a hostage message to the kidnappers in a mask, like it's Gotham City. What's going on in America right now, yo? If only we had an FBI that wasn't run by an idiot who could like solve mysteries and shit, you know?
The subtext that she is reaching out for anyone who has information, and that could be a co-conspirator or the abductor himself. Up to $1 million, that changes things.
In an extraordinary act of generosity,
I really think like if the $1 million is effective, it's going to be more effective just in the fact that someone who might not have wanted to get involved in the situation might be like, I at least have something to gain now, right? Because whoever kidnapped this millionaire's mom are probably some bad people, you know, even if they're idiots, like they're clearly willing to do whatever it takes, you know, so they'll definitely take you. I mean, they're probably, I don't even know. I would say it's a little bit more likely than not that Nancy Guthrie was murdered, unfortunately, but she could have easily just have died from natural causes. I mean, either one, or maybe they had some drugs for her. I don't know.
Savannah acknowledged the tens of thousands of missing persons whose cases have not received the same attention as her mother's. So she's also offering a donation of $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Yeah. This is probably like a really awkward position as a rich person, because it's like, of course I'll use my vast wealth to get my mom back, but that can go sideways in a lot of different ways, man. For sure it could, you know, because you don't want to offer too much, you know, you don't want to offer everything you have, you know, and also too, it's going to make people mad because lots of people go missing.
Really remarkable to see the Guthrie family at the moment of their darkest hours while they're searching for Nancy, to really be cognizant of the fact that there are thousands of families searching for their loved ones right now.
And there's renewed focus today on those chilling images of the kidnapped suspect at Nancy Guthrie's home. Reports say
looks like a goddamn SD Kid video.
This image may have been recorded several hours, possibly even days before the kidnapping. Compare it to the video we've all seen.
Also, I feel like enough people aren't talking about the fact that it's terrifying that they're constantly like watching you, right? Like if you have like a Nest doorbell camera, this is proof that even if you're not paying for the service that constantly surveils your doorstep, they can still access it if they want to. Like that's not good. Like that should be a scandal within of itself. That's a real distraction, honestly.
The night of the kidnapping, which shows him wearing a backpack and a holstered gun. Look, he's dressed the same, but there's no backpack and no gun.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's kind of a breakthrough. Like he clearly came and scouted the place at some point in an identical outfit. He probably, every single item that he bought was probably, you know, bought very carefully, you know, in a way that couldn't be traced. Or in a way that wouldn't leave any like DNA or anything.
We did what I call a site survey to make sure that at this day and time that they chose that there wouldn't be other vehicles around, other traffic going in and out. So it's very pointed if this ends up being at a different time and date.
With so little apparent progress after more than 3 weeks of searching, Savannah's heart-wrenching appeal may be the best hope for a breakthrough.
Please be the light in the dark.
Man, it's so disturbing, you know? It's like some movie shit. Let's see a local angle on this whole situation. Wait, let me see. The State of the Union didn't start yet, did it? No, yeah, they're still just getting ready for it.
Yeah, what time is...
Look, I think the true crime community on the internet has a bad reputation for a reason, to be honest. Because, like, people think just because they watch, like, a lot of, like, murder stuff online that they're somehow, like, great investigators. Like, they'll find out little details and stuff. Now, in this situation, it might be a little bit more successful just because it's a kidnapping, right? So, like, even if there are just remains left, they're probably going to be local to the Tucson area. You know, I wonder what they're kind of like doing to like advance this.
Leads down to Seward.
I'm not born and raised in Tucson, but you know what, I call this one as my home. So Tucson is my home.
This is like, hold up. This is the most Arizona looking woman I've ever seen in my life. Like if you've lived here, like you know, this is like your standard Arizona woman. I like her tattoo. The B. Cool.
My home. We're Tucson people, and we all got to stick together.
Plus, again, like, they're offering $1.4 million. Over $1 million. To find anything. Like, so I wonder if this is, like, out of the love in these people's hearts, or it's just like, damn, son, like, yeah, I could probably crack this case. I literally told my girlfriend today, it's like, yo, like, we should just go down to Tucson and, like, start asking questions like we're Scooby-Doo. like, they're offering big money to help figure this thing out, man.
Did you get find anything?
You know,
We're searchers. We're not investigators. We're just looking. That's all we're doing. We're not going to be at Nancy's house. We're just searching.
Yo. The tattoo culture in Arizona, I'm telling you. This guy got like a bat over his eyebrow, another bat next to his eye, a cross on his cheek. He got like a coliseum on his neck. God damn. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Just walking, searching, getting some exercise and looking, taking pictures if we find anything, submit it.
Well, you heard it here first, boys. Like, Tucson, if you can find something out about Nancy Guthrie, it could pay pretty handsomely. Pretty handsomely. Okay. Okay. Whoa. 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 Let me check the audio real quick.
Come speak. We also bring in
but that's not a State of the Union.
Yeah, but ambassadors.
Let me check the audio real quick. There we go. All right. Back to some drilling shit. Okay. Whoa. 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 One day.
Threats of war escalate in the Middle East as the U.S. military buildup continues. This graphic shows the recent buildup of U.S. air power.
God damn. Like, you know, I really try not to be like a fearmonger or anything, but it's like, I think we can definitely say we're going to war with Iran, right? Why else would we put all of our shit over there? What else would be the point? What would be the reason? We were doing the same thing with Venezuela, you know? And they always take their time with this stuff, because with Venezuela, I was starting to think that maybe it wouldn't happen just because it was so drawn out. But Trump only has 3 more years. He wants to do his pointless war in the Middle East. You know, all the other presidents got to do it. Like, he wants to do it.
In the Middle East. The Wall Street Journal reporting it's the largest in the region since the Iraq War in 2003. In Israel, the IDF Home Front Command has been directed to prepare for full-scale war. Iran is holding joint naval exercises with Russia and the Chinese. The regime is also...
The Iranian government is evil, right? Like, they're backwards. They have like a religious theocratic government. Like, they have morality police that patrol the streets and bully women like ICE, right? But you can't just flip someone's leadership just because you don't like them, right? Like, they're a sovereign nation. You know, we have to try to work with them. Like, we can't just topple over whoever we don't like. And we've done it before in the past, and that's how we created these situations. Like, that's how Iran got in this position in the first place.
Calling on Hezbollah to join them in the event of a U.S. military strike.
There's many reasons and arguments that one could make for a strike against Iran.
Is it just me, or is like this job aging her? Like, she's 2 years older than me, right? I'm 26. Like, her laugh lines, like, I don't know, it makes her look like a Muppet. Like, you feel me? And it's like her eyes, and also she's pregnant, and also too she has to defend, you know, she's probably really scared. Like, she knows like all this stuff is messed up. Like, her husband is double her age. Like, she probably just wants to like listen to Charlie XCX and like do lines in the bathroom with her friends. Instead, she's like the White House press secretary in an authoritarian fascist regime. Like, oh my God.
U.S. military officials say they're ready to strike as early as Saturday. Leavitt reiterated that little progress was made during Wednesday's nuclear talks.
Diplomacy is always his first option, and Iran would be very wise to make a deal with President Trump. And
their deal is just do whatever we say. Like, America's not really deal offering, because deals would like give you something, right? Like, the Iranian officials are even open to like an oil deal, but what they want. But I mean, this is a proxy thing for Israel. Like, Israel wants Iran like smothered into the dust, right? And Trump wants to please Israel, so it looks like America is just bullying Iran on their behalf. It's ridiculous.
This administration.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth told CBN.
Secretary of War, CBN News, what the hell?
The decision to strike Iran lies with President Trump.
Should they not follow through on commitments, should they not be willing to make a deal, the president has an option. The only one.
The Secretary of Defense should not just be like a presidential dick rider. Like, his loyalty is to the troops. Like, you should be against them fighting. Like, you're the guardian of their lives. Like, you should only want to deploy them if it's absolutely necessary to defend the American people. Like, Iran is no threat to us. Like, he's just saying, I serve at the pleasure of the president, like a fucking lapdog. Like, that's some cuck shit. You already know, like, these people are into some weird sex shit, right? Like, Donald Trump has pretty much already been exposed, but like Pete Hegseth, like, he probably gets pegged. I said it. Yeah, I said it, bro.
This decision, well, two people will make this decision. The Iranians can step up and make a real deal, and then ultimately President Trump will decide whether or not it's a deal that's good enough for the American people.
Middle East political
Also, it's like, it would be so cruel to wage war against them unnecessarily when you know that all their conscripts are just like slaves to an authoritarian regime, right? Like, you feel me? Like, you know, it's like so many civilians would be hurt, and like the civilians are already so terrorized. So like waging a war with them would just be so awful. Like, they're not gonna just kill the bad guys. Like, a lot of good guys would get killed in that as well.
Esther Braun says any deal with Iran should come with reservation. Braun recently wrote this Times of Israel article titled "Built to Deceive: Why Iran Can't Make a Real Deal."
Wow. Like, look at this just like open sabotage of peace by the nation of Israel and its like and its vassals, you know? It's really unfortunate, man. I just want to say I love Jewish people and I love Jewish art, right? Israel is just like some Nazi shit. It's like the Nazi wing of the Jewish diaspora. Like, that's just what they've become. It's so insane. Like, I didn't want to admit it, but it's kind of where we're at now.
She explains the Iranian Islamic tactic known as taqiyya.
Taqiyya was a survival mechanism. The believer could conceal his faith, conceal his style of life to save his life, to save his property, to save his community.
Braun says Western diplomacy wants to resolve conflicts. Iranian culture uses taqiyya to manage it.
It's not like they're lying because they have a purpose to lie. It's just the way how they see the whole process of negotiation.
Oh, they have this weird brown way of negotiating, you know? You know, because like when they do diplomacy, it has some exotic name or whatever. Like, whatever, bro. It's just subtle dehumanization.
While U.S. military officials say they're prepared to strike Iran as early as Saturday, President Trump is weighing his options.
So now we may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably.
I still think it's hilarious that he did this at the Board of Peace meeting. It's like, you're going to threaten war at the Board of Peace meeting, threaten war with a nation in the Middle East while you're talking about how you're going to heal Gaza. Like, it's just absurd. It's just so funny.
10 days.
The Wall Street Journal reports that Trump is considering an initial attack on Iran, possibly within days, to force it to meet U.S. nuclear demands. The limited strike options include attacks on nuclear and ballistic missile facilities. If Iran still wouldn't go along, the U.S. could launch a broader military campaign in an effort to potentially overthrow the Islamic government.
Again, like, you can't just flip someone's leader because you don't like them. Like, that's up to the people to do, right? If people did that to America, like if other countries did that to America, it would be chaos around the world. But America feels like we're entitled to do that to other people just because they're tiny and they can't do anything to us. I mean, that's only for so long, right? Like, empires fall, you know, countries are weakened, you know, national tragedies happen, you know, democracies collapse. That's what happened to Iran, you know? I gotta pee. I'll be right back. What up? I'm back.
If we're taking the president at his word, and if we add these reports, which he says are incorrect, we could see a strike ahead of the next round of talks on Thursday. Is that your expectation?
Look, if we look back at the previous time President Trump ordered a strike on Iran, he did it at the earliest possible moment.
It's really any day now. Honestly, it's really any day now. If I was a betting man, which you can bet on this shit now, like Kalshi, I'd say like before March. I'd say before March for sure. If the State of the Union goes bad for him, I think he might accelerate it to distract, or if like the Epstein files heats up, you got a new accusation today that's groundbreaking, maybe then, but it's really any day now. And I mean, I think the members of Congress are in on it. Like, I think they know exactly what day, they just can't say anything.
We've got the assets in the region. He's made repeated threats to use force against Iran. I would not be at all surprised to see it in the next day or two.
All right. Chris Coons from Delaware says the next day or two. So get your boots on to go fight in Persia. I mean, and also it's like the military leaders have been leaking information to the press. It's like, hey, like if we did an Iran war, like it would be a quagmire. You know what I mean? It'd be like Vietnam. And like people and like Americans have such a myopic view of geopolitics, and I'm a part of that, by the way. But it's like we think of Iran as like a bunch of terrorists or something, but it's actually a very well-established oil state in the Middle East, like with a very rich culture and history and had a revolution, all that jazz, right? So they're going to fight. Like, you know what I mean? Even as much as the people hate their government, like the thought of being invaded by Trump's America, like probably doesn't sound very appealing to them either. It's not looking too good.
He has amassed a remarkable amount of air and naval power, but he hasn't explained to Congress or the American people what's his objective. Is he trying to protect Iranian protesters? Is he trying to degrade their nuclear program, which
yeah, he keeps throwing out different reasons why this is so necessary, bro. It's like, and at first I was kind of like with it. It's like, okay, it's like the Iranian government is beheading their protesters for trying to overthrow their authoritarian government. Like if Trump wanted to intervene, I wouldn't complain, honestly, right? Like, do I think that's necessarily the best policy for the United States? No, but if you wanted to do that, I'm not going to complain about it because I do want those people to be free. But, Trump's just going to do whatever enriches himself, and his cronies and shit, yeah, so fuck that. Like, all right, where are we at with the State of the Union, yo? All right. We still got like 23 minutes. Make America Great Again by the Illuminati 4406. You know it. All right, this isn't really a political story, but we're still talking about it. I still can't decide which one's crazier, the Will Smith, Chris Rock slap, or this Michael B. Jordan BAFTA N-word situation, right? Like the slap was crazy because it's like two famous people that but like it really wasn't a political thing, right? It was just more like a personal spat between two really famous people. Like this BAFTA situation is like a cultural milestone. And it's just such an interesting test case. It's like, yo, so if you have Tourette's, can you just like yell out slurs at an award show and like get away with it? And then, like, for the organization, it's like, have some decorum. It's like, how'd you guys let this happen?
Biggest night in the British movie business, broadcast on the BBC with a 2-hour delay. Time enough in theatre.
Broadcasted with a 2-hour delay. 2 hours. Okay. At first, when this whole thing happened, like, I thought, like, maybe it was like a 10-minute delay, so like it couldn't get through the chain fast enough. But I don't know, bro. Like, 2 hours is definitely enough time to mute that shit, especially when you find out that they were able to mute other things during the broadcast, which you'll see.
For the broadcaster to edit out any offensive language.
Good evening and welcome to the EE BAFTA Film Awards 2026.
Yo, poor Alan Cumming, bro. Like Nightcrawler had to deal with this. Like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. He shouldn't have to deal with this shit. All right, it wasn't his fault.
And while some cuts were made, not this. When the stars of Sinners, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, came on stage to present the night's first award, the N-word, which we have beeped, was shouted out.
Presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
The beep doesn't really portray like how loud it was yelled at them, yo. And it's like, mind you, like, this is like an auditorium of like what, maybe like 1,000 people, give or take, right? Like how many people is that? Like 1,000 maybe, like in this little corner, right? So the fact that it was screamed so loud that the person on stage, over anyone's conversation, over their loud ass PA system, means that shit was shouted. Like, that's ridiculous, yo. On TV, like, oh my god, like, how do they not censor that?
First BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
Yo, and his face will always make me laugh, bro. Lindo Delroy, like, that face he's making with his tongue, like, he's looking off. I just wonder who he's looking off at. Maybe like his wife or something. It's like, yo, you hear this shit? Like, what the hell?
We're here to
visibly shocked, they were praised for carrying on.
Nah, Michael B. Jordan doesn't look shocked at all. He looks he knows how to play it cool. He knows how to play it cool. It's like, I'm not even giving him a reaction. I'm just gonna get through this shit. You know what I'm saying? Get my BAFTA, whatever.
Later telling Vanity Fair he wished someone from BAFTA had spoken to them afterwards.
Nobody even spoke to them? Like they couldn't get like a production assistant to be like, yo, our bad, yo. Like, we'll make sure he leaves. like, damn. Like, I feel like they would have been better off making him leave and facing the backlash to that versus this weird ass backlash that they have now for not doing anything or even really giving a fuck. Like, yo, bro, black people are so disrespected, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Was shouted by John Davidson, seen here on the right, a campaigner who has Tourette's. It's a condition characterized by sudden and involuntary tics, which can include socially unacceptable words
and look, it's a real illness, okay? Like, I'm really trying to be empathetic here. I do think it's very ridiculous that they had no contingency plan for their family member or their like castmate, like whatever, who had this illness, to, you know, just in case like he's in mixed company. Like, why was there no contingency plan? Like, and I do blame them a little bit. Like, you're still a grown man. Like, you still gotta make sure that you're not causing an issue, you know? Lots of disabled people have to worry about that stuff like that. It's like, if my wheelchair is going to block the fire exit, then that's a problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that we should make it hard for these people, but like, you having a disability doesn't mean that you can terrorize us, is what I'm trying to say. Do I sound like an asshole? Like, that's where I stand on the whole thing.
Wearing.
Hello.
He was at the BAFTAs after his life story inspired the film I Swear.
I was blown away. I did not imagine anybody could pretend to have Tourette's as an actor.
Robert Aramayo from I Swear.
It led to...
Dang, bro, he even got the award for it. I mean, this is great PR for this movie, by the way. I mean, conspiracy. I don't believe it. Look, I don't know. I don't want to be like a a disability doubter. You know, those people are kind of screwed up. So I don't want to be one of those people, but awfully convenient though, right? Like, awfully convenient.
Dramatic and surprise win for its star, Robert Aramayo, for Best Actor, who appealed.
Damn, Leo's there too? Damn. Oh my god. They got called the N-word, the hard R, in front of Leonardo DiCaprio? Come on. Come on. That's so disrespectful. What the hell?
Understanding about the condition.
Tonight, Jesse Plemons? Mary Jane Watson? That's so embarrassing. Like, because you're amongst your peers, and like the N-word is so like othering. Like, you know, if you're black, you know what I'm talking about. It's just so othering. Like when you hear that from someone that really means that shit, it's like, and there's no one to defend you. It's just like, wow. Like you feel like, ooh, you know. So oh my god, so cringe that happened.
Especially, I just want to say that for people living with Tourette's, it's us around them that help define what their experience is. So.
But also, like, again, like, as a black person, like, I am getting a little annoyed that no one's caring about Michael B. Jordan and Lindo Delroy. Like, everybody's like, all right, let's just remember that he has an illness. Okay, I get that there's some room for that, but, like, come on, be cool. Like, you feel me? It's like, not cool. Like, I feel like if they were gay, like, I feel like if they were gay, they wouldn't have gotten away with this. Or, like, Jewish. Or whatever. And I'm not saying that like bigotry against those people is good, like, or acceptable, but I'm just saying like there would be more of a social backlash to it, you know?
Quote the film, they need support and understanding. Thank you so much for this. It means the world to me. I can't believe that.
But while
oh my god. What a weird set of circumstances to win an award.
There has been much support and understanding for John Davidson, many still have questions for the BBC.
We understand that it's involuntary, and actually this is a great learning moment for the Tourette's community and learning more about what they go through. But like I said, two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, two things can be true at the same time. It's like someone needs to pay for this. I mean, maybe not pay, like I'm not racial vengeance or whatever, but I feel like someone needs to answer for this mistake, like, you know, and like meaningfully engage with the black community to prove that like their organization should have any legitimacy with us anymore.
Still be offended by what happened, and we can still feel unprotected if you don't do anything to censor it.
So you feel the BBC was too slow to react because the programme wasn't edited and it stayed on the iPlayer for some 12 or so hours?
If it was another slur, if it was a slur against another community, would that have been edited out? If it was a swear?
It definitely would have, because they censored out Free Palestine. Like, they censored out Free Palestine. So any other slur, like, they would have gotten rid of it. Like, like, it's hard not to take it personally, like, as this unfolds and continues.
That he had shouted out, would that have been edited out? I think it would have.
Enola Davis Jr. and Wally Davis.
In fact, other remarks were edited out from the BAFTAs. When filmmakers Wally Davis and Akinola Davis Jr. won the award for Outstanding British Debut, these words about Palestine were cut from the broadcast.
For Nigeria, for London, the Congo, Sudan, Free Palestine, thank you.
Wow, I didn't know that it was somebody that was accepting an award that said Free Palestine. That makes it even more screwed up that they canceled it out. Like, why even have an award show? I thought we were platforming artists here. It's like you're gonna edit that out when he's a British writer? What the hell? Yo, the BAFTAs are screwed up. Yo, they're fucked up, bro. What the hell?
BBC didn't respond to our specific questions, but gave us this statement. Some viewers may have heard strong and offensive language.
Yeah, it was strong and offensive language.
During the BAFTA Film Awards. This arose from involuntary verbal tics associated with Tourette syndrome.
They're very subtly throwing it all on the guy, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I do think the guy has a little bit of culpability because you know what your illnesses are, right? And it's part of your duty to protect the people around you, even though it's not your fault, right? But He was the guest of the BBC. Like, if I went to the BBC and I started wilding out for some other reason, they wouldn't have a problem kicking me the fuck out. And I'm not saying that he should have been kicked out, but there's got to be some way to get in line, right? So we can have like a civil event that doesn't exclude any of the artists that we have here, right? I don't know, man. Okay, where are we at with this State of the Union? 6:34. Got exactly enough time for this. The day before I went to Disneyland with a girl that I met on Instagram, Russia invaded Ukraine. And now every single time that I think about this war, I'm just like, wow, like so much time has passed since then. Mickey, you'll always have my heart. One of the best trips I ever went on in my life. All right.
Marks 4 years since Russian President Vladimir Putin launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. It's Europe's worst conflict since World War II. The Center for
That really puts into perspective the worst conflict in Europe since World War II. That kind of represents how scary it is probably for the people on that continent. Like, you know, especially since Russia is just so obviously disrespecting international law to pursue his own ambitions. Like, it might give other people ideas or ambitions of their own, you know?
And international studies suggest combined Russian and Ukrainian casualties could soon reach 2 million people.
2 million people wiped off this planet because Russia wanted to play hero. Like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. And it's, oh my God. And it's probably not going to ever be regarded as this, but I consider it a genocide. Like, Russia is trying to wipe the Ukrainian people off the map. Like, they want them assimilated into Russia. They're kidnapping their children. Like, you know, it's an act of extreme violence, right? And the Ukrainian people are fighting so hard, but it's way harder on them than it is for the Russians, right? Even though it's getting close with how fucked up everything is on their end.
Civilians are among the dead and injured, and many millions of others have been displaced. Explosions rocked Kyiv in February 2022 after Vladimir Putin ordered thousands of soldiers who had amassed along the border into Ukraine. His aim, he says, was to liberate the country from a neo-Nazi dictatorship.
Oh my God. Oh my God. People will really say anything. You know, like the president of Ukraine is literally a Jew, right? I'm pretty sure that Zelensky's grandparents died in the Holocaust. Like, so to call him a Nazi is like so absurd. Like, the real Nazism, he's not a Zionist to my knowledge. I mean, that's what I would consider, but I don't even think Putin would say that.
I decided to conduct a special military operation. It aims to protect people who have been bullied and subjected to genocide by the Kyiv regime for 8 years. For that, we will strive for the demilitarization.
Every accusation is a confession. Like, literally, with like authoritarians, it's like anything they accuse you of being is exactly what they're doing. Like, exactly what they want to do.
And denazification of Ukraine, and will bring to justice those who committed multiple bloody crimes against civilians, including Russian citizens.
Moscow had already invaded and illegally taken control of Crimea in the south in 2014.
Yeah, that was just like the canary in the coal mine. It's like, that's Obama's fault. You know, by like letting Russia just take a piece of land and nobody did anything, it just gave them larger ambitions. They're like, okay, Ukraine is kind of picking up. Like, why don't I just take that? You know, Belarus is already in cahoots with them. So they're like, fuck it.
And was supporting Russian separatists in the east of the country, the area seen here in yellow. Well, that allowed Vladimir Putin's troops to rapidly advance when the orders were given, taking major parts of the south. Russia also occupied areas in the east and north. Within weeks, Moscow's forces were moving into the outskirts of the capital, Kyiv. Under attack, Ukraine mounted a fierce resistance. By November 2022, the front lines solidified. Support and weapons from the West helped Ukraine repel Russia from much of the north. And within 9 months, Kyiv had taken back parts of the south and large parts of the east.
It's really incredible, like, how much the Ukrainian armed forces have been able to achieve, right? I mean, and also, too, it's like they were handcuffed by Biden. It's like you can't strike into Russia. You know, maybe that was for the better. I don't know. I'm not a general, right? But the fact that such a tiny country comparatively could just fight them off like this. Sure, they've had, like, lots of help, like international help, especially from America. But damn, like, the fact that they could really just, and they're highly motivated. They don't want to become Russia. Russia sucks. I'm sure Ukraine has its problems, too, but...
A year ago, Russia was forced to defend its own land after Ukraine launched a surprise incursion into the Kursk region. Kyiv managed to control parts of...
And then look at the red versus blue. Like, Russia's taken all of this. Like, they're trying to take all of this. But then when it comes to Ukraine, it's like they're just barely, you know, just flirting with the idea of getting into Russia.
Strict for several...
I think if they attacked Russia, like, it might cause, like, unrest with the Russian people. That might make it harder for them to get in line and, you know, make them get in the meat grinder. But that's, you know, a lot of things would need to flip. And then Russia has nukes. You know, Russia, you know, the world needs Russia in a weird, bizarre way. Like, you know, Russia has resources that, you know, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. You know, we just got to hope that Russia just stops, you know? And Russia kind of wants to stop because it's like their country is hurting. They're getting sanctioned. All this bad stuff is happening because they've gone on this war of ambition. But now they, like, need to get something or else they're going to look really foolish. Like, they got to take this red shit even though it's barely... look at all this, you know?
Months, that's seen here in blue. Elsewhere, Russia continued to make incremental gains, mainly in the eastern Donetsk region. And then the impact of a new world leader was felt.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
This is, oh my God, like, just as a man, this just pisses me off so much. Like, imagine, like, and they're two sides of the same coin. Like, they're both people that were entertainers in a past life that pursued politics as a goof, and now they're statesmen in very dramatic times, right? But Zelensky rose to the occasion, and he, you know, he's defending his nation's sovereignty with everything he has. He's not capitulating. He's not threatening the future of Ukraine. Like, he's doing everything he can to have a Ukraine that's the same as it was when he got it, right? At great personal cost, assassination attempts left and right, like, you know, being disrespected on a global stage. Then you got this stooge who got everything in his life handed to him, right, by his family, trying to tell him what's what. Like if Trump was in the middle of a war, he would make fatal mistakes. Like, so many more people would die. Like Ukraine is managing this so well, like, as well as they could realistically. You know, I don't know.
Gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
He's talking to him like he's his son or something, or like one of his workers. Like, you, like motherfucker, I'm the president of Ukraine, Slava Ukraini. Like, you know what I'm saying? He has his own culture that he's representing, and just because of this horrible position that Russia put him in, he has to just hear shit from this pedophile. It's gross.
Donald Trump's return to the White House cast doubt on ongoing U.S. support for the war. His administration opened direct dialogue with Moscow without including Kyiv or Europe in the initial discussions. The U.S. president has been lobbying for both sides to strike a deal, but Russia has been unwilling to compromise on key sticking points. The Kremlin wants Ukraine to give up land Russia doesn't yet control in the east. As the war...
That's how you know it's like this isn't going anywhere, because it's like Russia is asking for even more stuff than before, right? Like, they're just hoping that Ukraine will hurt itself in confusion and fear. But they're strong people, yo.
As its 5th year, there's still fierce fighting right across the front line, but mainly in the Donbass, which takes in the Donetsk region. Russian forces continue to advance, but at a much slower rate. Moscow has carried out some of its biggest drone and missile strikes of the war in the past year. Many have targeted Ukraine's energy grid, causing crippling power outages.
War crimes. I don't know if that's a war crime technically, but low blow. They're trying to fuck up their energy grid so their people starve. Like, what the hell? So they gotta like fucking go to work in the dark and shit. You know? Oh man. Oof.
Kyiv has also hit back with attacks on Russian infrastructure. With the backing of key allies, including the Coalition of the Willing, the Ukrainian president says his country wants the war to end through diplomatic means.
We continue to work every day specifically to ensure that the next round of negotiations can bring results for Ukraine and results for peace.
I hope Zelensky gets to retire in peace one day. Like, I genuinely do.
Ukraine will certainly do everything necessary for this and will definitely not be an obstacle to peace.
All right. Say the union time. That's what it looks like. If I can figure out my sound, goddamn.
This contour pillow called Dorila Ergo, but
and he is addressing those threats, which we clearly have seen him address, whether it's capturing Nicolas Maduro, going after alleged drug boats, or or I guess supporting Mexico's president as she had her military take down one of the most notorious leaders of a drug cartel in Mexico, El Mencho. Your thoughts as the president is not far into the speech, bringing up what he is describing as restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere.
Right. I definitely think that this is reflective of the fact that the president knows that there are going to be people all over the world watching this for indications of what could come next when it comes to some of those foreign policy decisions that he's going to make. And that's also something that I think we're going to hear in the Democratic response later on tonight from Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, who has a national security lens as someone who was a former CIA officer. Who's going to be speaking about the decisions that this administration has made on the foreign stage, from tariffs to some of these other foreign policy moves that might hit Americans economically. And I do think that at the heart of these remarks from President Trump tonight, we're going to hear him try to address issues of affordability. It's also important to note that the president has a tendency to go off script. So while we do have many of the excerpts that you have been mentioning and reading off of, it's quite possible that we see the president go off script. And that is what I'm going to be looking for in terms of the tone of what the president might say tonight. Tonight does double as a campaign sort of speech, because this is an election year. We're standing on the eve of midterm elections. The first primaries are coming on Tuesday. And so what the president says here has the capacity to either bring more people into the fold for Republicans, or it could, mobilize more voters to go and vote with Democrats. It all remains to be seen. And so the tone of what the president says tonight is something that I'm going to be watching very closely.
Okay, something else we're watching for. Devin Dwyer, you cover the Supreme Court for us. Apparently, the president has arrived there at the Capitol, tonight, which means it won't be long before we see him enter the House chamber. Are you noticing what I'm noticing? I don't think we have seen a Supreme Court justice yet arrive to the chamber. Am I right?
That's right. They're not in the room just yet, Kara, but they advanced the president, so they will go down that aisle in a short time. We know from the TikTok that we've been provided, and they will take a seat front and center, just steps from that podium where the president will deliver his address. This is a high-pressure and highly uncomfortable moment for the justices. I've spoken with a number of them who have experienced this in the past, and they really don't like going to this event, given how much of a political pep rally it's become. But those that do believe very strongly in representing the judicial branch as a co-equal branch of government. We have 3 branches of government. The courts are one of them, and so they want to show up.
Lauren.
And they know that so many Americans can't even pull them out of a lineup. So tonight, just having that chance to see them in the front row, despite all the rhetoric and the division that you've been talking about with some of the guests, they will be there tonight, sitting, as Justice Alito has put it, like potted plants, trying very hard not to make any facial expressions as the president talks.
A Supreme Court justice that, for the very reason of all the scrutiny, doesn't go, right?
That's right. You know, a lot of people have been talking today, perhaps anticipating that the president might, throw some shade, if you will, at the justices in front of him.
Well, he did it last week.
And he's been doing it on social media.
Yes,
he has.
Has
that ever happened before? And of course it has. In fact, in President Biden's final State of the Union address in 2024, he pointed fingers at the justices, so did Barack Obama, and that's when Samuel Alito made a face.
Let's listen in to the speaker.
The gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise. The gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. McClain. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. The gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Reschenthaler. The gentleman from Utah, Mr. Moore. The gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Houchin. The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hearn. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar. The gentleman from California, Mr. Liu. The gentlewoman from Washington, Mrs. Delbene. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. Dingell.
The President of the Senate, at the direction of that body, appoints the following senators as members of the Committee on the part of the Senate to escort the President of the United States into the House chamber. The Senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune. The Senator from Wyoming, Mr. Barrasso. The Senator from Arkansas, Mr. Cotton. The Senator from West Virginia, Mrs. Capito. The Senator from Oklahoma, Mr. Lankford. The Senator from South Carolina, Mr. Scott. The Senator from New York, Mr. Schumer. The Senator from Illinois, Mr. Durbin. And the Senator from Minnesota, Ms. Klobuchar.
The members of the escort committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
So are we going to see Supreme Court? Supposed to see witnesses enter before the president, but you just heard the House Speaker announce the escort committee for the President of the United States. So if we see the President of the United States enter the floor, let's listen.
Okay.
The State Department. The Supreme Court justices are supposed to follow the diplomatic corps and then the President of the United States. So we do have a few more stops on the way.
Okay, all right. So this is something that we're watching very closely. Okay, they're a little behind schedule. Understood. Why don't we bring in Heidi Heitkamp and former Trump campaign senior advisor Danielle Alvarez. So Danielle, President Trump promised a lot of things when he was running for.
Man, there's really no telling what kind of wacky and wild shit Donald Trump is about to say at this motherfucking event, bro. Like, his back's against the wall. He's a pedophile proven in the Epstein files. Like, this motherfucker just got proven that he can't tariff these people, which is his entire economic strategy. like there's really not much for him to do at this point. Like, he's just kind of screwed.
The year that he has been in office, we have seen economic indicators trending in the right direction. What is important for the president to do tonight is to tout those wins, but of course lay out the vision for the year ahead. And certainly that is critical as we head into these midterms, as we discuss about how Republican governance can create wins for the American people, and as we try to prosecute the case that Republicans should maintain majorities in the House and Senate working alongside the president. So not only will it be important with all of these eyeballs in this address that he talks about the wins.
The only way that he can have a good speech is if he lies, because there's like really no metric that the United States is really doing well right now. I mean, I guess you could say the Dow, but it's like it, and by the metric of like individual people doing well, it's like doing very poorly, which he doesn't really give a fuck about. Like, you know what I mean? He's Donald Trump. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
Is delivered again, the one big beautiful
solid for every American.
Well, I think one thing he could do is actually lay out a legislative agenda, which he never has. And so when we go forward, I think that if this is about what a great job I'm doing, and that's all he talks about, this is dangerous territory for Republicans. What he needs to do is outline a legislative agenda, challenge Democrats to come along and to actually deal with affordability.
All right, I'm going to bring our Devin Dwyer back in because now we are starting to see the Supreme Court justices. Devin, I'm going to let you take it from here. Let's name them, starting with John Roberts.
And you do see these are the 4 justices, Kira, who attended last year's address by the president. You see Chief Justice John Roberts. He has never
the ones
missed
that
a
got
State of
called
the
a
Union in
disgrace to their
25 years.
family.
Elena Kagan, the only liberal in that group. Brett Kavanaugh, the president's second nomination to the court, and someone he has praised. Kavanaugh would have upheld the president's tariffs in that group. And Amy Coney Barrett, the youngest conservative, she has taken a lot of fire from conservatives.
Amy Coney Barrett's not
so
the worst.
far in the
She's still
president's
pretty bad,
first
though.
year of his second
She's
term,
actually
she voted
pretty
against
evil,
the tariffs,
but,
Kira, but there she is,
you know, she's
here to attend
sometimes.
the president's first official State of the Union address.
All right, and the reason why, let's just, be very clear that we have our eyes set on the Supreme Court justices is because we saw an unprecedented just lashing on behalf of the president when he didn't get what he wanted from the highest court in the land.
Call them an embarrassment to their family, and they still shut up.
70% of his tariffs, and he was not happy.
Kentucky's
calling
out there,
justices disloyal, unpatriotic, that their families should be ashamed of themselves.
God damn.
So we're wondering, will he...
Well, he delivered in person.
Yes, and look them in the eyes and say the same thing as he addresses the nation tonight.
And he will walk right past them on his way up to give that speech and on the way out. He's shaken their hands in the past. We'll see if they do that again. But it's important to remind everybody, Kira, as we watch the speech tonight, the president has had an overwhelmingly successful winning streak with this Supreme Court. In fact, of the unprecedented number of emergency applications Trump has made to the court,
really.
They've ruled in
Why
his
is
favor
ABC
almost
like
every single
Trump right
time.
now? Don't make
To
me switch to some
expedite
other
immigrants,
shit,
to freeze federal spending, to lay off tens of thousands of workers, to discharge transgender service members. All of those things were given the green light, at least temporarily. And let's not forget that decision in 2024 when the court gave the president sweeping immunity from criminal prosecution and limited the ability of lower court judges to block his policies. So as much as he may be angry and agitated by the tariffs decision, he certainly has gotten a lot out of these justices, including the 3
out of all the
he's
justices,
appointed.
I'd say that Amy Coney
because
Barrett seems the most normal, honestly. Usha, I don't know. Like, it's like the color is getting zapped from her face from just being the evil queen. You did the backup evil queen, not even the main evil queen, you know? There's that Mark Kelly. Yo, yeah, Mark Kelly. He's a pretty good senator. Like, I think he represents my state well. He kind of has like the naked mole rat kind of thing going, but he's like buff. Got Barron Trump, cover your drinks. Got Ivanka, Miss No Contact. My parents are too rich to go no contact with them. Yeah, let me see if I can read her lips. Dang, bro. Let's get this show on the road.
Hurt Biden. We saw him have approval ratings that weren't much higher than Donald Trump's at this point in his presidency for the same reason. So you've got to move on that issue.
We're looking at the First Lady coming in to the chamber now, kissing her son, Barron. and her stepdaughter right
He looks
next
nothing like
to
her.
him.
Is that?
And
Is
now
she his
it'll
mom?
be, of
How?
course, the President of the United States
That's just Trump.
will be coming in
100% Trump.
just moments away now. And as they all have special guests as well. We know that guests of the President will be Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. Also, Avelia and Gary Beckstrom, the parents of Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, the West Virginia National Guard member who was killed in that D.C. ambush just a day before Thanksgiving. The First Lady has a 10-year-old Alpha School student, an AI advocate, and TEDx speaker that will be with her as, and then we see the Secretary, the Treasury,
Looks like the lizard from
Secretary
Spider-Man.
Bessent there that just walked in. We're seeing our Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You see Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and now moments away,
Oh my God,
we will
look at
see
these
the President of the
dweebs.
United States. I think Attorney General
Look at this
Pam
clown
Bondi
show.
as well. A live look at
Yeah,
the
drop a
House
comment in the
chamber.
chat, yeah.
We
Drop
are
a comment in
now
the chat.
minutes away from the start of President Trump's State of the Union address. The President will make his way through the halls there. Some of the most historic statue-filled and heavily secured spaces in the U.S. Capitol. When he walks onto that floor, we will take that speech live. Our special coverage continues right now.
Tonight, President Trump's State of the Union address, his high-stakes message, a critical moment for this president in this midterm election year. ABC News live coverage starts right now.
Tonight, from the nation's capital,
my God.
President Donald J. Trump, with so much at stake, and the first votes in the crucial midterm elections about
I'm like
to
a
be
little hype
cast.
reel for
the
it.
President addressing the American people. This is an ABC News special, The State of the Union and the Democratic Response. Now reporting from Washington, David Muir.
And good evening, everyone, from the nation's capital. It is great to have you with us tonight. We are just moments away from President Donald Trump's State of the Union address
Let's
to
see.
Congress.
Let's see what he
and,
has
of
to
course,
say.
to the American people.
I'm
I'm
curious
joined by
to
the
see.
ABC News powerhouse political team, both right here in the studio with me and right there in the chamber tonight. President Trump knows millions will be watching tonight amid tough new polls for him. And in this
What is that
critical
black guy
moment
doing
in this
there?
midterm election,
I don't know
the
what
president's
he's
arrival
doing,
in the
but
chamber
he shouldn't be in
will
there.
be announced any minute here. He's expected to declare tonight that the State of the Union is strong, prosperous, and respected. We, of course, have been watching the arrivals moments ago, the cabinet
They
arriving
just gotta
in
lie
that
up and
chamber.
down. That's the
One
only
of the
way they can
noticeable
get-
differences about the chamber tonight, the absence of many of the Democrats who had decided to boycott the State of the Union. The minority leader, Hakeem
Bizarrely, I
Jeffries,
feel
had
like
said if
RFK
you
is
can't
like the most
behave, he
normal
would
one
rather
out of
you
all
not
of them.
be in the chamber.
Just 'cause he
But that's not
genuinely
the
is a
sole
bro
strategy
that
here,
just likes
Lindsay
having a good
Davis.
time.
You talked with Democratic leaders tonight who said
Okay,
they
we
thought
got
that their purpose would be better suited
Epstein's
elsewhere.
butt boy.
Exactly.
Howard
And
Lightning.
from our estimate, we're hearing at least 73 Democrats decided not to show
Greaseball.
up tonight. The breakdown, about 59 in the House, 14 in the Senate. Earlier today, I had the chance to talk with Democratic Whip Clark, who said that she feels that the focus of the State of the Union should be the American people. And so she described not wanting to listen to misinformation from President Trump and instead speak to her own constituents about the state of their union.
We'll watch that strategy as it plays out tonight. Many wondering if whether or not just showing up and being part of what the American people expect every year from a president, either the joint address or the State of the Union, as it's called, once you're into your second year as president. There we see the Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Secretary, of course, front and center with immigration policy in this country, Susie Wiles, the Chief of Staff, of course, the trusted advisor to the president, one of his favorite people inside the White House, the Trump family up there in the chamber. You can see Ivanka, Barron, and the rest of the children, and Susie Wiles looking up to that chamber just moments ago. We saw the First Lady, Melania Trump, arrive as well. The rest of the cabinet there behind Kristi Noem. Her policies, the ones
Noem is a bird
that she
like a
has to
hoe.
front in this country, the president's policies on immigration, the ICE policy playing out in Minneapolis for several weeks. The president is expected to address that tonight, and this White House fully
his
aware of the
sons-
polling on this,
his sons
Mary
look like
Bruce,
used condoms.
that the American people are aware of success at the border, but deeply uncomfortable with the images out of Minneapolis when it comes to Renee Good and Alex Pretty.
Yeah, the president knows that he is battling against those poll numbers. We know that our poll shows that Americans disapprove of his handling on immigration. Of course, one of the key issues that propelled him back to the White House. And he is going to try tonight, or
ICE
have
murdered
to do
people
tonight, to straddle that balance, to tout his
and got away
successes
with
at the
it.
border, while also recognizing somehow Americans' concerns with the way that his ICE operations have been enforced across this country. And of course, David, it comes as we are in the middle of this partial government shutdown. Democrats refusing to fund the Department of Homeland Security until the president makes reforms to his immigration enforcement tactics.
Many of the Democrats are now demanding that ICE agents remove their masks, that they have warrants for these arrests that they carry out around the country. And among the other demands, of course, and as you mentioned, Mary, the partial government shutdown, the backdrop to this State of the Union address. You can see some of the empty seats here in the chamber tonight. I want to show you a key moment that people at home, you know we've been reporting on this for the last couple of days, the rebuke from the Supreme Court when it comes to President Trump's tariffs. Members of the Supreme Court right there in the chamber tonight. 4 of the justices are standing, and it will be very interesting to watch this dynamic, because as the president is standing before that chamber, you have to keep in mind that the justices are really only a few feet away from him. It was just a year ago. We remember seeing that
it's just
image
gonna
of John
insult
Roberts,
them
the
to their
Chief
faces,
Justice,
probably, right?
President Trump shaking his hand and actually mouthing the words "thank you" to the Chief Justice. That went viral, if you will, throughout the political world. But tonight, if we can show the pictures of the justices standing in the front when they arrived a short time ago, the Chief Justice you can see in the corner of your frame, but 4 of them standing there together. And John Carl will be fascinating to watch tonight. The president, his interaction, if there's any interaction at all after being rebuked by the Supreme Court just days ago.
His words after that decision were blistering towards the Supreme Court.
Yeah, guys. We're streaming, everyone just kind of pops in. They don't drop a comment, whatever. You don't have to comment, right? Like, this is your leisure time, right? But just make sure you hit subscribe, yo. We react to all the crazy shit, bro. Best believe that. Son. You ever see that movie One Battle After Another? I really like to consider myself as like a character in that film, doing my own little revolutionary thing, one stream at a time, one TikTok at a time, I just kind of do whatever, just me, my MacBook, and all the time in the world, whatever. All right.
President of the United States.
Boo. Boo. It's toupee. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Kiss him on the cheek? Ew.
There you see the president has entered the chamber. He knows this moment is a pivotal moment for him. He was saying, and we should point out, John took us behind the scenes here, it is customary for the anchors of the networks and some of the cable news hosts to be invited to the White House under Republican presidents, under Democrat presidents. On the day of the State of the Union, the president did invite a few of us for lunch, and he made it very clear that he will address the...
Whenever I see someone doing something important, like in the back of my mind, I'm always like, damn, like what if they had to like pee in that moment? Like they had to like do some big speech or like go fight some battle and they just like really had to take a piss. With Donald Trump, like I already know that he just pisses his diaper, right? But that's the kind of thing I think about.
Republican colleagues there in the chamber. Let's go right to Rachel Scott, who's also in the chamber tonight. And Rachel, what do you make of what you see so far? And are there empty seats, as had been predicted by many of the Democrats who said they might sit this one out?
Well, David, I've covered several State of the Unions from this very seat up here in the gallery in the House chamber. There are far fewer Democrats tonight than there have been in years past. And David, what is notable right now as I'm watching the president, look at this, Al Green, Congressman Al Green holding up a sign. I believe I'm looking at it right now. It said something in reference to apes. Black people are not apes. In reference to that post that the president
Black
had
people
on
aren't
the
apes.
social media account, a racist
Black people aren't
post
apes,
that was
bitch.
offensive.
I agree.
That clearly a sign of protest there. Also notable as the president's making his way down toward the Supreme Court justices, David, is some Democrats didn't even bother to turn around as the president entered the House chamber tonight. And Democratic leadership, notably Hakeem Jeffries, was seated.
All right, that'll show him.
We just saw the president obviously shake the Chief Justice's hand. There's Justice Elena Kagan, Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah, you're still going to shake his hand after
Amy
we said
Coney
about you?
Barrett. Of course, he chose Amy Coney Barrett for the bench. She was one of the justices who did not vote in his favor and did not shake her hand there. Did interact with the Chief Justice, but then with none of the other justices. And John Carl, this was a question for the president today. Obviously didn't want to go on the record, didn't offer any answer to us. But it was clear to us at the White House that he didn't quite know how he was going to handle the justices when he got there tonight.
Yeah, interesting, that shake, very quick shake with John Roberts, and then going right by Amy Coney Barrett, who he put on the court.
Of course, we should point out Chief Justice John Roberts, instrumental in that decision as well.
He wrote the decision.
Choosing to interact only with the Chief Justice.
But Trump felt particularly betrayed by the justices that he put on the court that ruled against him.
Neil Gorsuch included in that, though Neil Gorsuch, Justice Gorsuch, not there this evening along with the other justices who are not there. By the way, the 4 justices who did come for tonight's State of the Union are the same 4 who were here a year ago for the joint address to Congress. Mary Bruce, this president knows this is a critical midterm election year and that the Republicans hold very slim majorities in both the House and the Senate.
David, tonight is the president's best chance to defend his first year back and try to sway skeptical voters to back Republicans in the upcoming midterms. He needs to.
He's walking into this with all this delusional confidence, but it's objectively been a terrible year of a presidency. Like, federal agents are shooting people in the street. The president's a known pedophile. The economic terrorism across the world struck down by the Supreme Court. It's openly being defied. The concentration camps being built all across the country. There's no one should be clapping right now, obviously.
Affordability. And on the other, he says this affordability crisis was created by my predecessor. So it'll be curious to see how he tackles affordability and what the American people are feeling at the grocery store and costs of utilities and housing and what have you. I just want to point your attention at home.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
There you have it, the Speaker of the House with George Washington's gavel tonight, introducing President Trump. Let's listen.
What an idiot. God, what a dumbass.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States.
It's not really in the cabinet, but whatever. It's a good outfit. I'll give her that.
Second Lady of the United States. Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
Yeah, black people aren't apes. Facts. Fuck you.
less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
America has probably never been in a worse position besides right before the Civil War. Like, genuinely. Like, he's just going to say the exact opposite of what's going on. Like, that's going to be the theme of the night. I know it.
When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
Oh my God, it's just going to be this, like him just saying some empty platitude and everybody standing up and clapping and the other half of the room just sitting quietly. And they're escorting out. Al Green. Black people aren't apes. Yo, give him a sign back.
And we will never go
give him
back
his sign
to where
back.
we
What the
were
hell?
Just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today our border is secure. Thank you. Today our border is
he
secure.
represented well, in my
Our
opinion.
spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
America has never had less respect on the global stage. Like, the president of Canada is on the stage saying, like, yeah, we need to divest from America completely. It's unheard of.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
He's technically not even wrong about that. I mean, when you threaten to put people in gulags for hopping over the border, it just, you know. Honestly, it's just a win for white supremacy. That's why they're all so passionate about it.
0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
She's like a doll. Just like The Substance. Have you ever seen that movie?
But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
I mean, he's kind of conceding a little bit. Like, oh, yeah, no, we'll have immigrants. I mean, it's bullshit, but why do they all look like that?
Deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year.
I wish I had like a fact checker for some of these statistics, because chances are a lot of them are going to be bullshit.
And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
Okay, like we cracked down on all this immigration, and it's kind of clever of them to go with just the numbers of it, because immigration illegally is way down just because of like the fear that's in the atmosphere now. But I mean, what has improved? Like inflation is still terrible. It's probably made worse by the fact that the immigrants are getting terrorized now.
Disaster is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
All right.
Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem well, at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both.
He's trying to walk back the fact that he said he wants houses to become more expensive, which is, you know, it's clear that he's trying to lean into affordability because that's the only way that the Republicans have any chance at the midterms.
Here, boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
The United States is an embarrassment on the global stage right now. Literally.
Factories, plants, and laboratories are being built. We have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil.
We stole their stuff. Yay. Yay. We stole it. Yay. We stole their president. Yay.
American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill.
Fuck the environment. Can I get a hell yeah, fuck the environment? Hell yeah. Department of HHS? Hell yeah.
More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history.
There's more people in America now than there has been at any other time in our country. Of course, there's more people working.
And under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America.
I mean, not much has really changed besides the fact that, you know, some
we got a
got
record
bullied.
number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
I mean, they largely kicked people off of food stamps, right? Like, You know, I mean, like these facts seem kind of objective, but
Tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
it's frustrating too because like there's no question portion. Like he's just uncontested saying bullshit. Epstein lover.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And
this is just like some WWE shit. And I tell him I'm gonna see you at SummerSlam.
Proud, the men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
This is why no one respects hockey as a sport. Oh my God, what a dark reality. I mean, and lots of people were invited, like a couple of different teams and athletes were invited to the State of the Union, but it looks like they were the only ones that were willing to do it. They had Kash Patel in the back room, like these motherfuckers are Trump supporters. I mean, I imagine all the people on the team can't possibly. But I read somewhere that hockey was like one of the most conservative leaning sports. Shit, bro. I mean, they're willing to chant USA and shit. It's not going to age well. You know, their kids are going to be a little embarrassed about this if history goes the right path. Look at this lady. She ain't having it.
Go ahead.
They're hyping up the crowd and shit. I don't know. I hope it's worth it for these athletes, man. Because, like, it's not going to be about the fact that you won now. It's going to be the fact that you showed up to this shit. Like, and I'm not saying it's right, but people will hate on them for this. Like, they're going to get threats. They're going to get, like, you know, like, people will just never see them the same again. Now, they're probably in a bubble where that doesn't matter, but, you know, the internet will be heard in this shit.
The Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
Even the Democrats stood up for the athletes, I guess. All right. I guess. I don't know. I feel like they're kind of complicit for even deciding to show up to the shit.
They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie.
Oh, no pressure.
Connor Hellebuck.
No pressure. Once a lifetime experience. If one of us doesn't want to do it, then we all lose it. So no pressure. The president's blackmailing us. Whatever. No pressure.
Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off, do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question.
That shit was kind of pause, right? Like, when you get the stick and you put it in your butt, you remember that. You remember that. When I asked you in the office by ourselves, you remember that. I was trying to get a little bit lucky.
Connor, with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
They're going to give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom for playing hockey? God damn, I thought you had to be like a national hero for that. Like, or at least, like, Jesus Christ. Man, the sports culture in this country has to fucking die. Because it's like, we really let these athletes do whatever the fuck just because they can play ball well. Like, we treat their opinions like they're worth listening to.
And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no. And every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
Ooh, but you don't want to be praised by Trump. Like, you being praised by Trump, whether it's fair or not, is going to make you an enemy to so many people. To so many people that aren't going to forget about a moment like this, right? When Trump is at the height of his evil. Like, oh my God.
I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
This is going to be awful. Oh my God. It's going to be so terrible. I mean, maybe Trump is going to be very much on his way out, but if he cranks up the authoritarianism and we don't have a meaningful answer for it, then all these people being here are going to be basically America's hostages for the games. Oh. Whoa.
Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
I don't even think it was particularly unsafe before, actually.
And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place, and now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news.
It would be if you weren't the president. Like, honestly.
So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
Yeah, that guy's old as shit. Buddy Taggart, World War II Army veteran. I mean, I guess it's cool that they honor the troops and shit, especially for like World War II. Now, these guys are definitely Trump supporters, which is yucky. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're probably racist as fuck. Let's be real here. But damn, okay. Thanks for your service. You know, World War II. An honorable war for the United States, honestly.
Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas, one of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one? As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClymont closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class, and he lifted not just Millie Kate,
it's like P.T. Barnum.
164 others to safety.
Yo, JD with the overacting. I mean, to you, there's probably other military heroes that aren't a fan of Trump that decided not to come. That's my assumption, but maybe not. Like, maybe you do want to get acknowledged for the time that you saved a bunch of people in the theater of war. And if it's Trump giving it to you, does that mean that you don't deserve the praise? I don't know. You know, it's not exactly like the Team USA shit, but it's worth thinking about.
Something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate.
Yeah, that's good.
And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
I feel like they can give you a little bit more than that. At least give him like a varsity jacket. It'd be cool to have a medal, I guess, but...
And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down and take care of the service. Military aid, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
Yo, who's this on the right? Girl, what side are you on?
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary, massive tax cuts.
Tax cuts to who? To who? It's not for anybody normal.
They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we
why does he look like a fucking goblin?
Great, big,
he's bad too.
Bill,
he's bad too.
We gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
No, not like that, by the way. But he does look very like goblin-like, especially in that pose.
And we also made interest on auto loans tax deductible, the first time but only if the car is made in America. Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half.
The no tax on tips is temporary. Like, it's not meant to last for that long. Likely he's not having that shit, bro. You can see it in her face.
Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it.
Buddy. I forgot about the Trump accounts.
I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the 3rd row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children. They're great people. When I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school and I made computers and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling. And pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that. But I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad. So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to TrumpAccounts.gov. TrumpAccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule.
The Dow is at 50,000.
Where it wasn't supposed to.
What do you mean that
do it
doesn't
for
have
many
anything to do with
years,
anything?
were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong.
Yeah, what a gargoyle.
They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling.
Why does Schumer
But the
look
good
like that?
news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement.
Here we go.
Despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful country-saving, it's saving our country, the
Looks
kind
like the
of
Mad
money we're
Magazine
taking
mascot.
in, peace-protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes, and they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually
I feel like this woman
probably
actually
better,
has a soul.
leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time-tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
They didn't even know when to start clapping because you're just rambling. It's like, yeah, people that we love. Yeah.
Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first. I love America.
Yeah, this is a glorified Trump rally. I mean, I don't know what I expected.
For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to health care, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. There were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation
Why is everyone
that cost
so ugly?
the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly use the word affordability, a word. They just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem.
The culture.
You caused that problem.
Yo, it was so weak sauce. Oh my god.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
Oh, the Democrats just look
The price of eggs
concerned and a little embarrassed.
is down 60%. Madam Secretary, thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit,
Chicken,
hotels,
butter, fruit.
automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy.
I know that this is going to go on for like another hour, but I feel like I got everything that I needed. The stream is over.